I just messaged back a bunch of hands.
Clap, 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 clap. Clap, 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 clap. There you go. That is the tune. It's quite a dark piece of music. Hello and welcome to the Drunkduck QUACKCAST. I'm Ozone Ocean and with me is Baines.
Hello.
Pitface.
Hello.
And Dame Helsing.
Hello.
Hello everyone. So, this week we're up to number 488. And we're chatting about the Anthology again, but more specifically. So we just talked about this on the Patreon video, but we're getting into it again from a different direction on the audio portion of the QUACKCAST. So yeah, we talked to Bound Bun last week. You'll get a bit of deja vu here because Anthology again, but that was sort of general stuff, and we're talking about anthologies in general. Now we're talking about the Anthology specifically this week because Dame Helsing is actually working on it and she knows what she knows. She's in the know. So that's what we'll be chatting about. But first, we got to get into the featured comic. Featured comic this week was Ask Andante. So, Kwai, tell us about Ask Andante.
Hello, this is QUACKCAST, and the feature I've selected for this week is Ask Andante by Aibu, and it is rated M for mature. In a world with creatures that resemble cute pocket monsters, there is a small pink mute-type animal that loves to give advice at a booth, as suggested by the title Ask Andante. Andante lives in a world with very similar creatures that also spend time responding and answering random questions that are emailed to them. Most of the comic pages use a font that is hand-lettered. The comic pages are drawn and colored digitally. Discover a comic that feels like an actual Ask Me Anything AMA board and read Ask Andante by Aibu, rated M.
And that was Ask Andante, which was a great little webcomic with very cute furry little creatures, pink and white, very lovely. So next up we have the featured music. The featured music. What is the featured music this week? Anyone want to guess? Well, of course you don't. It's too hard. It could be anything. But this week it is Hell's Fairy Woman.
I was gonna guess that.
Oh, really?
Yay! I'm so excited.
Nice.
Hell's Fairy Woman by who? Who does Hell's Fairy? Dame Helsing.
Me.
Of course. And it is a very lovely comic rated M. So, the description of the music. A wall of dark noise assaults and takes over. Sail into a vast cavern of heavy, heavy sound, falling in a raining torrent of leaden drops, soaking you deep and weighing you down more and more, so that you gradually sink deeper and deeper and deeper. Then all of a sudden it eases, and the world is lighter. So, take it away, Gumwallace, with Hell's Fairy Woman. And that was our musical theme. Gummels, thank you very much for that. Theme to Hell's Ferrywoman by our very own Dame Helsing.
Yay!
So, yeah, give it a check out. It's a great looking comic. So, Anthology. That is what is happening. So the anthology is to raise money for the duck, so we can update our look. Is that right? That's the thing. That's because yeah, it's looking a bit creaky. It's showing its age. It's yeah, it's 2010 when it's actually 2020 at the moment. So it's a duck out of time, out of place.
Yep,
So
it needs a new polish.
it does a few coats of paint.
Yep.
It'll look good. So, yeah, Anthology is a great means to an end, especially if we can advertise it well enough, and having lots of different fantastic works inside it will help that. So, how did you come to, like, there's the theme. So the theme is the thing that you guys came up with in order to have the stories linked together somehow. So, yeah, people, when they get it, will sort of, have a nice common thread. So even though there'll be stories of different styles with different characters, they'll all have some point of connection. So what were the themes that were up for contention?
So the themes that we have so far that the participants will get to vote on are the Halloween, horror, noir, urban fantasy, and community.
Okay.
Those are the 5 themes that, in the future, hopefully soon, we'll put up a link and everyone will get to pick their favorite, and we will actually announce it on the 1st of August.
All right. And like you guys had this so this was like admins on the Discord sort of voted to narrow the themes down to these 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was how that was arranged out. When it's like voting to narrow down the 5, now will that just be the people like on Discord, or will that be like a more open thing?
It's completely open to everyone. Even if they're, as long as they're part of the duck community, they can vote. So we are going to announce it on Twitter, I believe. Also, just a side note, if you guys hear any running around, that's my rabbit. I'm sorry. Okay. It will be available on Twitter, to our ducklings there. The forums, people will get to see the link to vote, and definitely on Discord. But I do highly suggest people to join Discord, just because when this anthology really does pick up, we'll probably be chatting there a lot, and it will be like a live chat room.
Yeah.
So everyone can keep up with each other.
Okay, so that's the best way to stay in communication about it. But everyone is able to have a say in this, which is good. Because, some people don't like change so much, and, people have their own sort of ways of they prefer to communicate. So, I suppose for some people, they won't want to get into the nitty-gritty. They'll just want to say, yep, I just want to have a vote or something like that. But, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there we are. If you want to have a vote, you have a means to do it. So what are your guys' favourites out of this? So we've got noir, community,
Halloween,
horror,
and urban fantasy. Not Orban. I almost said Orban. It's urban.
Urban. So it's all brown, sort of reddish brown. It's just the theme. So
I am and always shall be a Halloweener.
You're a Halloweener. Okay.
Halloween or I like horror as well. Was that one of the finals? I can't remember.
Yes.
You just said what they were. Okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to forgo the coffee thing today. And I'm here. Halloween and horror always have my interest, and I know Halloween is probably mostly an American thing, but Halloween is the one thing that is Americanized, that I do want to bring to the entire world. It is my hidden agenda in everything that I do. I think everybody should have a bombastic Halloween that's amazing. So yeah, if you vote Halloween, then you bring me one step closer to dominating the world through Halloween.
What about you, Baines? What's your preference?
Samhain. Well, they all sound really cool. Initially, I thought Community. I didn't like that one as much, but once I thought about it, I thought that could be a great one actually. Do a horror story about that, or a darker story with that theme, or a lighter story, or somewhere in between. It gives a lot of freedom. So,
Okay.
I like a Halloween anthology. I think that's pretty good. That could be a pretty good seller, even outside the community, possibly.
And I do
as
hope
could the others.
Sorry,
Huh?
and I just I do hope that if it does win, people who don't celebrate Halloween so much, I hope they'll still try to make something, because I'd love to see interpretations of Halloween from people who don't have a culture that normally partake in it, and see how they interpret things, or maybe new things that they bring to the table. That would be really cool. So if it does win, don't be driven away. You know what I mean? Like,
It's a good point. Yeah.
Something for everyone. Well, my favorites so far are urban fantasy and noir. I like those two because noir is like stylish in so many different ways, and there's a lot of different ways of approaching it. You could be like the what was that, Sin City kind of thing? There's that noir, very brutal. Oh, Pitt's got a bit of lightning there. Or you could have like, you know, that.
Oh my God, she's having spasms.
She is.
Sparks everywhere.
What's the classic noir
Oh,
stuff?
my Lord.
It's like
the PI stuff, like the old 40s.
the
like
Big
Raymond
Sleep.
Chandler books.
That's
the Big
it.
Sleep. Yeah.
Those really kind of stylish things. I love that. I freaking love that. And
It's great stuff.
And urban fantasy is got such cool things in there too. You know, you can have dragons on a city street and all that kind of stuff. Elves and dwarves and all this kind of thing, you know, in reality.
There's at the Starbucks.
You can, and
McDonald's.
yeah, yes. But urban fantasy can also encompass horror and Halloween stuff as well. So there's that. So you can have all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would.
I'll go.
Oh, sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I think my favorite is definitely noir, just because it's like, I'm just gonna say, I think it's just such a sexy theme. That's honestly why.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
It's stylish. It's sexy. It's classical. It comes from that era of class and people wearing furs and, you know, stylish imagery, because it was formed out of, I think, in the 1930s when they started it. So, and it was a particular style of cinema where people sort of focused on shadows and high contrast, light and dark, and all this kind of thing. So it comes from that black and white tradition. You can do color noir. There's no problem with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, if you want to do color, you totally can. It's definitely not forced to do just black and white. I know I might do a bit of gray tones because I really want to do like the make the red pop out or make blues pop out.
Yeah,
Because I think that would look really nice.
And it would be really cool to see how all the different artists, or at least the different ones that, of course, partake in this, the different ways that they interpret noir, because, you know, obviously having a theme isn't to put too much restriction on anybody. You know, we would never say, you know, it all has to be black and white and this kind of aesthetic, because then who wants to read 130 or so pages of the same fucking thing, you know? Whereas when we let artists and writers really express themselves through a theme, it can really be something unique. And think about like how unique that is on its own. When's the last time you heard of anybody releasing a comic noir anthology? You know, especially of like independent creators and stuff like that. That could be really cool.
It would stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
Nice and specific.
quite unique. Yeah, and like you said before, you know, like with Halloween or horror has marketability outside Drunkduck. Noir, sort of the same thing. I think any of those themes really can. It just depends. Or maybe community less, but I don't know. Maybe it does.
Oh, while we're on the subject of themes, it was brought up in our admin chat that we're hoping that, you know, anyone who participates in this will actually include a hidden duck somewhere in their stories or in their art, just to make it fun for, like, the readers. And, like, can you spot everyone's, like, hidden duck or something like that? Just something else to really tie us in together as a community.
That'd be really cool.
That's cool.
Bury it in there somewhere,
Yeah, you could do it like a little floating rubber ducky in a pond or something, or a tie pin, or cufflinks, or a brooch, or wallpaper, anything.
Or like, if you want to put it in the stars, you know, you can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like graffiti. It's, you know, it's open, like it's not forced, but it would be pretty cool if you guys want to do that. Just saying.
A scene like in The Lion King where Simba's talking to his dad in the clouds, but instead it's a giant duck.
Yes, exactly.
Well, someone's written duck somewhere.
Quack, quack.
So, yeah, someone could be watching Howard the Duck or Daffy. No, we don't want to get involved. That's one thing we have to avoid is the copyright issue, don't we? That's tricky.
Yeah, I wanted to put Dungeons and Dragons as an option for themes, but I was advised that there could be a copyright issue, so I was like, okay, never mind. Let's just pretend that wasn't part of it.
I think you can do that just by saying Dungeons and Dragons so you got a fantasy thing, but then you couldn't call it Dungeons and Dragons theme. You'd have to call it roleplay or something.
It's not just been like calling it Dungeons and Dragons. You probably have to use different like classes and races and stuff though too, don't you? Or maybe not, because like a rogue is like
it's common.
Yeah, it's pretty common. So maybe I'm just full of bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, like orcs are everywhere. I mean, they're not literally everywhere, but yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you live again?
They're copyright free, people. Yeah, because they were stolen from Tolkien, so everyone can steal them now. You're free to steal orcs. And yeah, I don't think there are many that Dungeons and Dragons would only own, because they all come from mythology. So yeah, but yeah, that's not one of the themes. So oh well. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool. How about you guys? Like, if would you do a story that was specifically for the anthology, like with all new characters, or would you adapt your comic?
I think I'd adapt.
I've been thinking about it a lot. I could go either way on that.
Okay.
It's like, if you were to adapt, you can do something you wouldn't do in your own story. So it's kind of like, why not?
I agree. I'd go for the adaptation as well, because it gives you an excuse to take things further.
Exactly.
Have a little bit of fun with your characters. Dress them up how you want and make them react in different ways, and and it also gives you an excuse to be able to like down the line you could put it back into your own comic if you wanted,
Yeah, or you could actually even use like the adaptation, like later on after we release the anthology, you could use it as like promo art for your own stuff and for the anthology, hopefully.
Exactly. It's sort of it helps you, which is more incentive to actually participate. because you're
Yep.
creating new material for yourself. And
Quality content.
yes. And it gives you experience as well. Like if you're doing that kind of thing, it's a learning experience and it helps you. I know when I've done community projects in comics, you know, on the Duck, it's helped me in my own work every single time. It's a learning experience. It's fantastic. Like that time I did that crossover on your comic, Putrid Meat, Pet.
The oranges. There were squished oranges involved.
There were many squished orange as well too. So
actually, the first time, I think the first or second time I did the Drunkduck Awards pages, like the presentation pages, I used my characters to deliver the presentations.
Yeah,
and, that actually helped. I got quite a few of the ongoing readers.
there you go. That's what it does. Like Dame Helsing said, it's a promotion for your own comic, so it brings people in because they see it.
And do you really want your characters to miss the biggest part of you really want your characters to miss the biggest party of the century?
Multiverse.
That wasn't worth the trouble.
That makes it
Secret
funny.
Wars.
Oh, Secret Wars. Jeez, I was just looking at some YouTube video about that. That's pretty cool. Secret Wars. It's groovy. That was a big crossover event for Marvel Comics, I think. Is that right, Ben?
I'm thinking of OG. I think it's been done again, but I don't know. I'm thinking of when I was a kid. Some of the early comics I read were Secret Wars, and it was like all these Marvel heroes and Marvel villains were transported to this series on another planet. This powerful being wanted them all to fight each other. And in their individual comics, I think a lot of time you would see the character disappear mysteriously, and then Secret Wars was released. Yes, it sucked for the people who were left out.
Oh, very cool. So yeah, that could have been another thing, but it's a bit obscure for people, I suppose.
Well, then they would have to all be connected.
Yeah. And then we have to start making movies and merchandise.
Yes, I mean, more money, more problems.
More money. Oh dear. Well, yeah, that's the end game for Drunkduck, of course. The new Marvel. We'll surpass it. We'll do way better. Oh, jeez. Well, yeah, it's the Marvel, stuff. That's like an ongoing anthology in a way, isn't it? Because you've got all these different characters in their own different worlds, and they're all, hammered together into these movies. So it's like a big anthology of Marvel characters. It's an interesting way of looking at it. I never thought of that. But we're not... Yeah. We're not going to do that with the anthology book. We're going to go a different way. So, how many creators do you think would be optimal for the whole thing to participate?
We're hoping to at least get 15, but it would be pretty awesome if we got around 30 or more.
Wow. That will be hard to organize, I'll tell you. But it'll be fun.
Trust me, the way Mal is getting it done, she's actually project manager as her day job.
Oh.
And she has great, community project experience. She is so organized. I'm intimidated by her, and she's a day younger than I.
A day younger,
I can tell that, I was wondering what she did in her day job and stuff, because she really does have that, professional handling of things going on. Like when she released that, that kind of, what do you call it? Not a rough draft, but that page, the
guideline. The
guideline to all of us and stuff like that. It was just so on the ball, and I knew that I don't know, she was more than just the loathsome bum that I am, slinking away in my room. And
trust me, I feel the same way. And it's like, she's a day younger than I, and she's like so successful, and she's like a leader. She knows how to lead people. I was like talking to her, and in my head I'm like, I feel like she's George Washington and I'm Alexander Hamilton right now. And like the Hamilton.
I read through that all the way through that document, and I was like, "Oh my god, this person really knows what she's doing. This is incredible."
Very impressive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some good writing. I was thinking, oh, geez, I wonder if I can get her to manage some other stuff.
Like a serial killer who has great like OCD or something. Not really.
Is that going to be your story?
Maybe.
He could have
But
done
actually,
a
in that
killing,
document,
but had
she
to
talks about
wash
how
his hands 5 times. Oh, go on, sorry.
she in the document talks about how like a lot of people, maybe I think she said maybe even half will drop out. Like, people will start out excited, but won't necessarily be able to get stuff done. So
yeah,
that's
how it goes.
She definitely said to just expect the worst, basically, because a lot of people will get so into it, but then not everyone will want to put forward the work, or things can happen, or they just get turned off. Like, everything sounds good at first, but then it all, just turns out not what they hoped for.
Mm. Yeah. There's a multitude of things. Life gets in the way. People lose their jobs, cars break down, people get sick, all sorts of different things as well. So yeah, just losing enthusiasm for the project, of course. So many different aspects. They bite off more than they can chew, so to speak. The work becomes way bigger than they think they're getting into. Especially like how many pages are we asking?
Let me look.
I think it was between 4 and 16. I think.
Okay.
Yes. Every user or participant, I say user because I think of like a forum user. Every participant will get between 4 to 16 pages. But something that I want to leave clear is that I believe you can only make one story using those pages. And let's just say use 10 pages. You can use the 6 pages to make standalone illustrations if you want. You can actually select the amount of pages you want ahead of time, I believe. Like, you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to use 16 pages. You could just say, oh, I only want 8 pages. So then we know if we should fill in with other things, or if we should expect something else.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect you could have an optional amount.
Oh, and something else that her and I talked about actually last night was if people do want to collaborate, like a writer and an artist, you guys can totally do that if you really want to. That's, available.
Sweet.
Great.
Okay, so you could have group submissions, maybe even 3 people, if you want it. Colorist, line artist, all that kind of stuff. All that.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you guys come together as a team, yeah, it totally. If it works out, it's fine.
So, question then. Say somebody does that where they have, a few people on a team. Does that count for the submission for each person then? Like, they can't say like, well, this was my submission on the collab team, but I'm going to make my own as well. Like,
I personally want to say no, but I cannot confirm, because I would think it's more like a submission per webcomic.
Okay.
So let's say like the artist wants to do their let's say the writer, because that makes more sense, wants to do their webcomic, so the artist would volunteer, and then if the artist wanted to do like a different webcomic, they could do that. Or if the writer wanted to help make a webcomic with someone else, or like help make a draft, I guess. I feel like it should work out just fine. It should be like per webcomic instead of per person.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, that works well. Although you wouldn't necessarily have like one person submitting 5 different submissions because they got 5 different comics. That's possible
Yeah,
though.
I was. Oh yeah, that's a question now because it's like, what if the person has 2 different webcomics? Originally, I was thinking about actually merging Scardian with House Fairy Women. Just making it into one thing.
Okay.
Oh.
Did Scarred Eden end? This is off the subject, but
Oh no, I'm sorry.
story's not over? Okay.
No, it's not. I'm just taking a
Gotta catch
hiatus
up.
because I worked so hard on it, and I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Flips table. That was me. It's coming back in August though, so.
All right.
Yeah, I get the same thing with Pinky TA. It's just need a break.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to like mentally disconnect from it to want to do it again.
Yes, and having a second comic,
Pressure.
it really helps with that.
It does.
It does. Or a new one, always. I'm still so much in like the honeymoon phase of my new comic. I'm just like, you're losing enthusiasm, but how? Comics are great. And like
Oh no.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets to be a lot sometimes.
Finally, I don't know if this helps or anything, but I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, you always have more enthusiasm for something when it is a side project than when it is a main project. So if you're somehow able to keep your comic as a side project, always have something else as the main thing that you're doing, then maybe you can maintain that level of enthusiasm into it. Because it's always like, oh, I'm just doing this as like a reward for myself for working on this other thing. Yeah. So maybe that can work.
That was always my curiosity because I actually last year I quit my job and I had this whole time off because I had saved enough to just take a break from working. And
nice.
Yeah, and I just didn't feel like working on my comic, and I don't know if it's because I had so much time to do it, like either it was pressure, or if it's because that's all that I was doing. And then now again, I'm actually currently unemployed, but that's because of the virus.
Yeah.
So I was, and I'm just like, I'm not working on Hell's Fairy Women as much as I should be, and I'm not working on Scarred Eden as much as I should be. So it's like, is it a thing where I feel like I need to do, like, I feel like I need a side or, like, a main job so that this feels worth it? Kind of that scenario.
I think so.
I wonder, yeah.
Because the time when most people are most productive, and this is something I've observed over, like 15, 16 or so years on the Duck, is when they're at university. Also high school, but mainly it was when they're university, and when they're studying their hardest, like they're doing their degree or their masters or something like that. That is when people were most productive because they needed it as a way to let off steam, and they were into that rhythm of working. So they were used to working like up to 2 a.m. 4 a.m. every day on stuff. Yeah. And it just folded into it, which is interesting. So if you get like a work ethic, but if you've got like a routine up, it fits into that, and that is when people become most productive, which is interesting. Mm. But also when people are doing 9 to 5 work and stuff like that, it can also fold into it if you can manage things the right way. Because, some of us are I know a lot of people, they just get home and all they want to do is go to sleep or play video games or veg out in front of the TV. So, yeah, it depends for a lot of us,
Yeah, each person has a different outlet.
Exactly.
I wonder if, and I feel free to say this now because Tance isn't here, set her off probably, but if there's something to do with different parts of the brain or different parts of the mind, at least, like theoretically, one is working so hard. Say you're studying hard at university and you're really using certain parts of your skills or mind or something like that. So you really need, as a counterbalance, you need that creative thing or something that's different or something like that, rather than just vegging out and doing nothing. You need to do something else. And then when you don't have to do anything, it's like, oh, this is great. I'll just do nothing, or less.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it could be. It's
That's basically what you just said. I just wanted to talk.
no, it's a different point, because you are talking about like a kind of like switching gears in the brain. So it's not just procrastination or rewarding, it's having to have an outlet that's different.
Right.
And yeah, perhaps there's a thing to that.
Like activity breeds more activity, but kind of maybe in different ways.
I know.
Interesting.
Like, personally, being stuck, not being able to create, really sends me batty. So I have to be able to do my drawing. I have to be able to create. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my life if I'm just watching TV and not doing anything.
Yeah.
I feel like when I know that I have a span of time where I have a lot of time to create, that's usually when I don't do it. Like now that I've been on furlough for a week, I'm going to be on furlough for another week. I've been working pretty consistently on my comic. Like I said, I'm still really in that honeymoon phase, but I'm still kind of in the mind frame too. I think in general, where I'm almost bringing this sort of mortality thing into it now, where I'm like, I love this idea so much, and I want to do this so bad, and I want to make all these things before I die. And that's kind of my momentum right now. Not that I think I'm going to die anytime soon, but I think the way things are right now, both in the world, and personally, and stuff, we all are becoming much more aware of the finite time that we have, whether it's from day to day or whether it's, in life itself. And when I become aware of that, I'm like, shit, I want to make a thing, and I want to make this tent post that I'm going to be so into, and I want it to be a creation where I said, look, this is when I put all of my everything into this to make, and here it is, and I can go and lay down in my grave now.
I definitely went through something like that with when the pandemic hit. I took 2 weeks off of everything. I had 2 jobs, and I took 2 weeks off, and I never went back to my second job. But I used that time, starting in the 2 weeks, when I finally had some time. I went hard on my comic. Like, I had barely done anything in a year. Like, I think that story I started at the end of 2018, and I'd done only 10 pages or 8 pages or something like that through all of 2019.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you said. Like, I was like, man, who knows what's going to happen? How long we have? Like, what's going to change? How long do I have? Like, I really want to get this story done. I really want to spend time doing this. Why am I not doing this? Other than being busy with work.
Yeah.
I just want to go. So I did. I think in those 3 months of starting with I took the 2 weeks off up until I finished the story, I did I think half again the number of pages I'd done in the previous year.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like a flurry of activity.
That's productive.
And I started new comics too. I have them sitting on my computer. It's just insane amounts of pages.
That's so awesome, Baines.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Then I finished that story, and it really fell apart for 3 weeks. Back to nothing. I did literally nothing. But back at her now.
Genius needs to rest. Genius needs to rest and recoup, and
gotta let that. Yeah.
It's like I see 2 possibilities in my future. Either I'm obsessed with death, I guess, because I'm not suicidal, but it's on my mind. But basically, so I see so many things through this lens of like, not so much death as what is at the end of the story, what's at the end of my story. And I see two possibilities concerning comics, and there's more than two, of course, but the two possibilities I see is one, I die and I have this great completed work that's great by my standard, great because I love it, and all the stuff that I was saying before, yada yada yada, or and you know, it's on my tombstone, everything, like, sit down and shut up, J.K. Rowling, I'm here now, it's fine. But like, so it's either gonna be that, or it's gonna be that like I die and then a week or two later they're clearing out all my stuff. They're like, oh, why does she have all these drawings of the naked paladin? What was she doing? Have you ever heard of this? No, I don't know. We're glad she's gone. Let's just keep going.
It's funny. The world is better off. Like, she never achieved whatever sick things she was.
Degenerate. No, everybody loves me. I'm in a good place. But
The Unabomber of comics.
I just want to hug a bear before I die. That's all.
Well, those two incidents will be connected, most likely.
That's right. One quickly follows the other.
I want to like scratch his back. I want to see if he'll like it.
Well,
I want that for you so badly.
it depends on the bear. Maybe a koala bear. That would be you'd survive that. It'll just wee on you. You'll be fine. Oh jeez. Yeah, that mortality stuff. That is like, that always brings me back to that line from The Princess Bride, where Vizzini, where he goes to fight Vizzini, and he's like switching the glasses of wine, and he goes, well, I see you're an educated man, and now because you're an educated man, you know that man is mortal. So you'll clearly not place the goblet in front of you.
I remember that.
So always remember, kiddies, man is mortal. Well,
You're gonna die one day.
exactly. Nothing lasts forever, so make your mark. Create your entry for the anthology.
Yes.
Hug your bear.
So where are we at right now? Like,
Hug that bear.
she lives your dreams. It's crushed by a panda.
Chewed up like an old piece of bamboo. Yeah, that is a good question. Where are we at in the anthology at this time and place?
Yeah, so this drops Tuesday.
I believe we are actually in the final stages of planning on our side. Mallory is currently writing up a blog post, and it should be done by Tuesday. I think it'll be done before Tuesday. But that will include more information like what templates we're looking at, saying that full color or black and white is okay, letting them know where the link is to go vote for the theme, as well as mentioning that we will have a special email for the Drunkduck Anthology where you guys will, or can, but it's highly recommended that you do email this to let us know that you are going to participate, so that way we can already get like your contact information in case you're not a fan of forums or Discord. We have a means to update you and contact you. And it'll obviously have way more. She's more detailed about this than I am, and I don't know what she's writing just yet, but I know it'll have more details and specifications for the participants. But our end should be almost done, and then we can finally let voting begin soon.
Oh,
Woo!
cool.
Right.
Yeah, this is very detail oriented. Sort of dots the I's and crosses the T's. That's
And we can announce stuff on the front page there. We have a front page every day. We can stick stuff in there. I definitely
yeah.
can catch people up if they're not on Discord and not on Twitter, they're just on the site, and I can trumpet this.
Yeah, it's a
Once
pretty
we-
amazing project.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. It's good to have this enthusiasm and getting back into it again. And it becomes a meta community project. So it's not just one of the smaller community projects that we have, but it's something that can involve everybody, which is what I like. So we'll have to have a few news posts about it. It's like the awards, isn't it?
Yeah.
It encourages people to participate and be part of a bigger thing. This is cool.
Maybe we can even put a banner up sometimes where the Discord thing is. When there's something for everyone to do, we can sort of plaster it right up top there so people know what to do and they know what's happening.
You mentioned banners, and this reminded me of something. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
We were actually going to suggest that if participants want to, they can create a banner to kind of promote their comic for the anthology. So that way more readers will know about it, and they'll just, look forward to it and possibly purchase it. Kind of like you guys will be helping the Drunkduck get more views and have a higher chance of getting funds.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so banners.
Yep.
This is getting the word out. This is a very important thing. It's like whenever you're doing creative projects, even just your comic normally, you should always be trying to get the word out. Like, it's all very well advertising within Drunkduck, but you're advertising to a limited pool here, so there's a bigger internet out there. So.
Yeah, you're not forced to draw any extra characters. You can just draw your own, because obviously you'll be putting in the work to create this banner. But as long as it's mentioned that it is for the anthology, that would obviously help. You basically have free reins over your own banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not full of porn, you should be fine.
Yes, let's make it at least for everyone to look at.
Although it depends on where you're advertising your work, I suppose. But yeah, be careful. All right, I think we've covered all sorts of topics and brought in some interesting new stuff with all that idea about Tam Helsing, what were you doing during the like you mentioned, you had some time off and stuff like that, so during the COVID kind of stuff. So like Baines and Pitt were having their particular creative stories. What was your story during that time?
Hunched over a desk saying, "We're all gonna die soon. We're all gonna die."
This photo.
It's funny. I was internally freaking out, and I'm
Oh.
I'm in New York. As soon as someone gets here in New York, it's going to spread because this is just a everyone's so cluttered, huh?
You were in the hub of it there.
Yeah, exactly. And
Ground
I'm
zero.
on Staten Island. If you guys know where Staten Island is, I'm a bridge away from Manhattan. So it's like a breeding ground there. And I'm yeah, I might die this time. I was this is it. I'm not going to finish Scardiated, and I'm gonna die. But this was luckily, I didn't have a job. I was just okay, I can stay home. I don't have to go leave my house. And I can just work on my comic. I forgot what happened, but I just didn't want to work on Scardiated anymore. I had an what did I have? Oh, internet outage. I had an internet outage.
Oh.
And I ended up just working on Hellstarred Women. And I was shit, I really want to bring this, to light. Because it was turning out so good. And basically that was like my whole COVID experience was, playing around with, am I gonna die? And oh crap, the story's good.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's just really cool. So it forced you to try new things. I mean, just having no internet, that's like being dead. Anyway, so you have the experience.
Strange, yeah.
Especially when you're stuck inside and, oh God, then you're not really receiving much news or anything.
Yeah.
On and
I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but you know what? Whatever. I'm stuck inside anyway. Like, I already know in a zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna stay inside and I'm just gonna hoard my food.
That's a good idea.
I already have it all planned out.
You wouldn't be wrong.
Nope.
Oh yeah, yeah. And New York was hit hard.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It was horrible.
Now that's it's the turn for the rest of America.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It was funny, like, I asked my friends, I was like, should I invest in a mask? And everyone's like, oh, you're overreacting. And now you can't go in stores without a mask. And I'm like, huh, I think I was onto something.
I've even noticed there's some comics on Drunkduck where the characters are wearing masks too, so they're triply safe. They can't catch computer viruses.
I like the Daily Doodle, where they create their characters like having a mask, and it's like, it's so cute. I like it. I love the Daily Doodle. It's like such a pleasure to see.
It is.
Maybe the duck can have like a little mini, I don't want to call it a propaganda campaign because that makes it sound negative. A campaign, I don't have to put the word propaganda in there. A campaign.
Promotion
where we all draw our characters wearing face masks and stuff and making it cool for the kids that are just like, oh, I don't want to be late, don't want to lose my freedoms.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I hate that. I'm like, dude, it's a mask. What is it hurting? Like, what freedom? It's just a mask.
Yeah, you want to do that, you better stay 6 fucking feet away from me. Just don't fucking
60 feet away from me. The further the better.
Yeah.
I think in
Anyway.
Italy, I think they wanted to introduce this thing where you're not allowed to wear deodorant on trains in order to force people to socially distance.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wait, why would they force people to not wear, like, deodorant? And then when you said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense, actually. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be near anyone either.
Or that would force you to wear a mask, so...
Oh, that too. Maybe those high-quality ones?
Or just stay the fuck home. Like, I don't want to go on the train today. I mean, that's not an option for a lot of people. But I mean, if you're between smelling stinky armpits or taking a crowded train somewhere, you don't have to do it. You might elect to just not do it that day.
Smell you later.
A new meaning.
Very good puns. Very good.
Well, I didn't know we had an Italian person on here too. Where'd they come from? What comics were they doing? Why didn't you tell us, Oz, that we were getting a QUACKCAST member?
Oh, jeez, they could have made us spaghetti. Missed opportunity.
It's me, the duck.
Yeah, exactly, and do our plumbing for us. That's that works out. Get those damn princesses out of the pipes.
What?
Clogging up everything.
They're just stuck in there.
I think I know my horror story now. Oh, that's awesome! No, you said it, Oz. You can have it.
No, it's all yours.
I'll dedicate it to you.
Oh, thanks.
No one on the podcast can see, but she just like jumped almost out of her chair and acted like she could fly out of excitement.
That idea made me feel like I could fly. So, like, for the first like 2.5 seconds, I'm like, oh, what a silly idea. But then it just like flipped itself over. and became the best idea. And I couldn't contain it within my person.
It buoyed you up like a particularly ferocious fart. It was just... ferocious. Okay.
Stop giving me ideas.
Well, thank you guys for being part of the QUACKCAST. This is cool. Participate in the anthology, people. It'll be a great project.
Yes.
More details to come, obviously.
Wait for Tuesday. That's when it's likely to drop. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Dame Helsing.
No problem. It was a pleasure.
Oh, that's really
Right.
cool.
Come back on whenever you want.
Yes.
Aw, yay.
Exactly. If you can get up at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Sometimes I can. Sometimes I just don't want to.
Oh, I know the feeling. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, everyone.